An old shirt on his back, worn shoes on his feet. Jackson walked into the marble lobby of a hotel he secretly owned. The paradox hung in the air, the master of the place arriving like an outsider. Gregory, the manager, scanned him from head to toe with a smirk carved into his face. Penthouse. Are you sure you booked the right hotel? The clerks beside him exchanged crooked smiles, one of them letting out a quiet chuckle. A few guests turned curiosity, sharpening their stares. In the corner, a travel blogger raised her phone instinct, pulling her to record. Gregory's voice rose firm and cruel, echoing across the space. This place is not for people like you. For a moment, silence pressed down. Jackson's reply was neither loud nor rushed. His lips barely moved as he said slowly, "You'll regret this." The seed of conflict was planted. The memory rose uninvited, sharp as glass. Jackson was younger. Then seated in first class for the very first time, his ticket tucked neatly in the pocket of his blazer. The plane smelled of leather and perfume, every detail screaming luxury. Yet the flight attendant leaned in, brows drawn tight, and asked for his boarding pass again. He handed it over without a word. She studied it, lips pursed, then returned it slowly as if reluctant. 10 minutes later, she came back, the same question. "Sir, may I see your ticket once more?" A third time followed, louder this round, her voice slicing the cabin. "Are you lost?" Sir, heads turned. A man in the next seat curled his lips, shifting as though proximity to Jackson might stain him. Others glanced sideways, there. Silence heavier than words. Jackson stayed still, hands pressed together, pulse thick against his wrists. He could have spoken, could have declared that his company had bought the very patent that funded half the airline's upgrades. But he didn't. He let the shame burn into him, branding itself onto memory. The flight dragged on hours, stretched by humiliation that outlasted the journey itself. He stared out the oval window at the thin line of horizon, wishing the glass could swallow him whole. That moment, insignificant to everyone else, marked him forever. In the quiet ache of that seat, the seed of defiance was sown. A vow forming in silence. One day, he would build something no one could deny him, a world where he would never again be asked if he belonged. The years peeled back again, pulling Jackson into another night he could never erase. Rain hammered the windshield as he pulled into the gravel drive of a modest hotel, suitcase in hand, reservation already confirmed. His clothes were damp from the storm, hair sticking to his forehead, but relief stirred as he approached the front desk. The clerk didn't even glance at the computer. With a flat stare, he said, "We don't have your kind of reservation." Jackson slid the printed confirmation across the counter. The paper curled with moisture, but the details were clear. His name, the date, the room. The clerk never lowered his eyes. His lips tightened, his hand, pushing the page back like it carried dirt. "You'll need to leave. We're full." The lie was effortless, practiced. He stepped back into the storm suitcase, handle biting into his palm. By midnight, he was in his car, the seatbelt still across his chest, unable to unclasp it, as if bracing against an unseen blow. The street lamp cast fractured light through the wet glass, cutting lines of gold across his face. Each raindrop drummed the roof like a steady insult, a rhythm that said over and over, "You don't belong. You don't belong." The cold crept through his jacket, filling his lungs with a damp. Wait. He clenched the steering wheel, jaw locked. It wasn't just the night he lost. It was the dignity stolen with the sentence. The casual cruelty of someone too comfortable with their power. He whispered to the dark ahead, every glance deliberate. He watched the staff before they watched him. Their eyes flicked.